Well, we can't go diving, the water's filthy, so we might as well go and whack the crab traps in and see how we go. Get these bad boys down. See if we can go and get some mud crabs. Trap number one. Trap number two. New South Wales, you're only allowed 2 mud crab traps per person. Since I'm just going by myself, it's 2 mud crab traps. Right, here we are getting ready to go crabbing, chasing some mud crabs. Just check we've got the float marked properly. Name, crab trap, postcode, date of birth, that long ago. Whew. All right, 2 traps each person. Only 2 because it's just me. The booties, because we're not putting a boat in. This is the off the bank trick. Here's our bait. If you watch my jewfish filleting video, you remember that I kept these frames for crab bait. They're awesome. A bit of leftover fish from one of my fishing trips. That's going to be our first bait for the day. Some cable ties to hold the bait in place. My booties. And this is what I use for bait bag. This mesh. It's like bird netting, this plastic bird netting. Very good for any odd, weird sort of shaped baits. You can wrap it around firmly, cable tied in, and the crabs have a hard time getting it out. Alrighty, time to whack it all in the car, and off we go, and hopefully the track will be traversable after the incredible floods that we've just had. Hopefully the track's not washed out. Anyway, we'll see that soon. Here we go, driving through the forest to get to our little crabbing spot. This bit isn't too bad. It's the last little hill to get down to the water that I'm a bit worried about, because we've had over 1 metre of rain in a week. I'm a bit worried it might be a bit sketchy. I don't know how the crabs are going to be. The whole system's been completely flushed out with fresh water, so there mightn't be any crabs hanging around. They might have all been washed down to the entrance. But anyway, you never know if you never go. And that's what we're going to do. Here we got a first little water crossing. Doesn't frighten the Triton. Right. Here's the worst of the wet crossings. Get a little bit deep this one. No problemos. Going up to the big hill descent now. We'll see what she's like. Hopefully the track won't be too bad. So far so good. Doesn't look like there's been too much erosion, but this is the bit where the water would have been coming down like a river. Right there we can see our beautiful waterway ahead. Knock it back a gear. Tide's nice and high. I like this big tides, these big spring tides. That's what I'm after, because I reckon the crabs will get a lot more smell of the bait with the water moving around. This has been cut out pretty well. Should be right though. Just nip across to this bit. Take it nice and easy. Yeah, no problem so far. This track doesn't get any maintenance. When it gets too bad, someone will just carve out a new one. Alrighty, here we are. Oi. Here we are. It's back into our little parking spot. Reverse back around. Well, here we are in a beautiful mud crabbing spot. I've got my plastic bird mesh, got a big chunk of that jewfish. If you saw my video on how to fillet a jewfish, you'd recognise this as the frame from it. Alrighty, so all you do, just whack your mesh around it, try and get it up nice and tight so the crabs can smell your bait, but they can't get it out. Take it out of the trap or eat it all. The same with any fish that get in there as well. The brim often get in this trap. Thread the cable tie through all the mesh. Cable tie is the easiest way to do it. And then we're going to get this right in the middle of the bottom of the trap. Cable tie it through plenty of the net of the trap. Yeah, nice and tight. Okay, so to keep the crab trap closed, we've got this set up here. This is the drawstring that pulls the top of the net closed. We're going to pull this nice and tight, loop it through a bit of the mesh here. So you can see this is keeping it tight so the crabs can get in, but they can't get out through the hole, which is where hopefully if we get any crabs, we'll be taking them out. Now here's the length of my float line. I'm only going to wade into the absolute maximum chest deep. So this float can go well above the tide range, so there's no way that the tide will lift this float and float the trap off. At the same time, I don't want too much float line, because what will happen, someone will drive past in a boat and they've got 20 metres of line out, they'll run over the line, catch it up in their prop, and no one will be happy with that. Alrighty, so this guy's ready to go. I'll do the same with the other one. Here I've got some left over, I've got some Sergeant Baker, some yellowtail left over from a fishing trip. Do the same thing. Whack the netting around. Roll it up nice and tight so the crabs can't get the fish out. Your fish that get in there can't get the fish out. Cable tie through plenty of the mesh. Right, zip tied in. Get it on one of the mesh, there we go. We've got two traps ready to go, ready to wade out. I'm going to spread these traps a fair way apart from each other. I'm going to put this one out in the channel here where it gets a lovely bit of tidal flow, where I've caught a lot of crabs before. And so we'll whack one out there, see how we go. Alright, so that's one in out in the channel, fair bit of run in there, which is fantastic because that's what you want to get the crabs going. Alright, now I'm going to put the other trap out. You saw the other one only went in, I was only just over waist deep, and that'll be lower again when I come back at low tide to retrieve them and have a check of them in a few hours time. Anyway, we'll go and whack this one out. Alright, it's about 11 o'clock in the morning now. I'll give this a 5-hour soak time, come back in around 4 o'clock. I can see the seagulls are already hovering around up in the distance. They're waiting for me to change that bait and give a free feed. We'll see if we see them when we come back at 4 o'clock. Check them out. Yo, what up, dog? Gonna get some crabs, yo?
Someone's reversed the car.
Yeah, they lost the boat there. Here we are. off to get some crabs with a bit of luck. Are we going to get any crabs, Rig?
Yes. We need mud crabs. Come closer, Kira.
I'll fall in the mud.
Come over, walk where I walk. It's quite solid there. Keep the film on it.
I am. Oh. It's so pretty.
I see crabs. We have crabs.
Oh, yes.
Crabs, crabs, crabs. Oh, that line is so deep.
Right, gotta get in closer if you're filming.
I was a bit worried. I thought there wouldn't be any crabs. Here we have a first pull of the traps. Lots of crabs. Most of them look like they're undersized.
You got one size.
We've got one, at least one legal one. We'll go get the crab measurer, check them out. Not too bad. I was a bit worried there wouldn't be any. Look at this big stud. You're coming home for dinner. All right, okay. Here I got my crab measurer from Fisheries. This one is for mud crabs. This one is for blue swimmers. And you measure the crab from between the nippers to the back of the shell. If it sits up on the shell like this, it's legal. If it goes over the shell, undersize. Undersize, legal. From between the nippers. So we've got at least a couple that are definitely sized. We'll have a look. It's always a bit tricky getting the hands in there because these guys, they can hurt you. All right. Now some of these I know straight up are undersized. So we'll try to get them out first. So this little guy here, definitely undersized. This is how you tell if a crab is full or not. So here, this is a female crab with a broad. And if you want to tell if their crab's full, in other words full of meat, you squeeze it under here. This one, it's full, but we can't keep it because it's undersized. So we'll let this one go. This guy is a bit closer. That is just legal. Come and get a close-up of this. There. So we put the measure on. It's just legal. So we'll check and see if it's full. If it's full, this is a male crab. See, it's narrow here. We'll squeeze in here. So not much give. If there's not much give in this bit under here, that means it's full. So that's a good eating crab, just legal. I only want to catch about 5. Let's get some more out and see how we go. Okay, this one, definitely undersized, so I'll put the measurer on this one. You can see it's undersized. Here we are, like that, under, so we let him go. Let this little brim go. So what's that, 3 out of the trap so far? This one looks like it's a legal one, a legal male. Come on. Okay, unhook this, that'll help. Okay. Gotta be careful with these crabs because if they bite you,
We nearly got the video for Funniest Home Videos.
Ah, very close. Very close. Okay. I'll just measure that here. This one too is just legal. So we can take this one home as well. It's just got one of these swimmers stuck in it. Woohoo! If you hold them on the back legs like this, they usually can't get you. Well, just while he's holding on like that, we'll just check here. This one's a nice full one as well. We can't push the side shell in. That means it's full of meat. Full of beans too. Come on. Oh, let's go with one and grabs hold of with the other. There we go. Here we are. Nice legal one. Don't get your thumb any further forward than that because they can reach back and bite you. All right, there's 2 in the bucket. All right, you can see there's free parking here, unlimited time. Nice lakeside place to park. Anyhow, that's where I live. Right, we're going out and get the last trap, as in the second trap, and see how we go. Alright, here we are, second trap. Unfortunately they've managed to rip the bait bag apart, but that's okay, we'll sort that out. I'm pretty sure we've got at least one more legal in here. So let's go. Oh, they nearly pulled that bit of bait out. Let's see what we have here. Quite a few small ones. Very healthy sign for this fishery. Okay. Yeah. Right, this guy's legal as well. We're just checking to make sure he's burned. Make sure he's full, I should say. Yep, there's another full one. That's number 4. This guy's going to be legal as well. These booties are good. Even if they bite you, they can't get through. We're just checking to make 100% sure he's well over legal. Have a look at this one. And well over legal. That's all good. Now we're just checking to make sure that it's full. And it's full as well. Fantastic. So we have our bag limit of mud crabs. Very good. Alright, we'll let the rest of these guys go. Right, here we are. We've got one here. He's just right on legal, but because we've got our bag limit of 5, we've got to let him go. That's alright. We might catch him tomorrow. My little helping hand back in the water. Off you go, buddy. That's unusual to get all of them full of meat and get your bag limit of 5. That's very handy in one set. Anyway, we'll check them again tomorrow, and I reckon we'll be pulling them out because that'll be enough crabs. I don't like to keep the crabs for too long. I just like to catch what we need to eat for the family. We'll have a good feed and then we'll stop fishing until we need them again. So we've got to do some repair work. Alright, just had to re-tie up that bait that had come out. Still good to use because the water's not too warm. If the water was really hot, then we'd be putting fresh bait in for the overnight set. But really, with 5 crabs, I'm only looking to get another couple in the morning. Then I'll be taking these traps out anyway, because like I said, I don't want to catch too many. I just want to catch enough for a good feed, and then that's it. We'll keep the crabs in the water, they can keep growing out. So I'm very happy. I was a bit worried with the flooding. It was either going to be really good or really bad, and it's turned out to be really good. So that's happy days. Don't have to put the boat in, no boat washing. Just a little bit of recycle of frames and old bait. Very good. Alright. Here we got the crab secured for the drive home. I don't want any climbing out and biting me, so I put my nice wet dive booties over the top of the bucket to stop them escaping. And we're in for a treat. These guys I'll keep alive, no problems till tomorrow, just with these wet booties on them in a nice cool shady spot.